What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a big show for you today. We got some big names. We know the big blockbuster names that you like to talk about, that you want to hear about. We've got some news about them finally, some updates at least going on with those on the channel. So let's go ahead. Let's tell you what we're going to get in this show of the day. Our talking points are going to be Juventus's transfer plans. What do we look like? What's going forward? Are there some changes? Maybe some changes that honestly you might not be happy with. I know I wasn't super thrilled about. But we got to talk about them. We got Dybala's contract talks. We got a big new update on that. Where does it look like it's headed? Does it look like the Argentinian will stay with the club? We'll let you know. And then we've got Ronaldo offers, like I said, blockbuster names. We got issues. We're going to talk about the Ronaldo situation. How will it affect the Juventus market going forward? We'll keep you up to date. And then we got to talk about the backup situation with different positions we have on the field. We've got, left back, right back. We got the goalkeeping situation. We got to talk about these backups because they're important for the season. We know that health has been an issue for the Juventus team. So we'll see who that is going forward. Stay tuned. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today is Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. And before we do anything, like we always say, hit that like button, please, and go ahead and smash that subscribe button, just like your Zinedine Zidane and the 2006 World Cup final. But first, okay, like I said, let's go ahead and do that. And then let's just go ahead and get into it. I was going to say but first something else, but don't worry about it. We just want to get into these news. That's what you care about. That's what I care about. Let's go. So the first news of the day, I'm not trying to let the air out of the tire right away before we get going, but DiMarzio last night, I'm sure some of you may have seen it already, definitely heard about it. Well, if you're like me and you just stay up to date and you have it on your phone 24/7 with updates, especially around this time of the year when the market's heating up, you never know what's going to drop. But DiMarzio said, and like I said, this may deflate you a little bit, the intention is to get only one midfielder this summer with Locatelli. That's the midfielder that Juventus is going to get. Juventus will do very few deals this summer and no swap deals. I mean, I don't know how to go about this in a polite way, in a kind way. It's a bit infuriating, especially when you see the year that Juventus fans that we just struggled with and that we had to put up with at that fourth place finish, and seeing the players that they trotted out there and expected them to go and win something. Like, to me, go get something better. We've seen how bad the midfield is, and you're telling me one damn midfielder is going to be the solution to our problems? Okay. I'm trying not to go off. Let's just say I'm pissed. That's the only way I can say about it. I'm not happy with the situation. I have a theory on why it might be only one midfielder. Maybe they have an idea of something for the future. But if the problem is these theories a lot of times don't work out, and then we get stuck in the same situation next year looking for another midfielder. Or maybe Allegri is confident, and I know he likes Rabiot. Don't know about the situation about Bentancur that much. Well, I do, but we'll get into it. And then, a couple of the other midfielders. But to me, I feel like you needed two midfielders, especially we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about Sanchez. We were talking about Van de Beek and players like that. I don't know. To me, I just don't think you can put this team going forward with only one midfielder that you're bringing in. The midfield's been a problem. I don't know that Locatelli's a wonderful player, great player. I want him. He's the player I want. But I don't know that it solves the team's problems and that I'll have them competing at a high level with only him. Let me know your thoughts going forward. I'm trying to keep this channel as PG for right now. I'm sure that'll change later. So I wasn't trying to go what I would normally say. But I'm pretty pissed is the only thing I can really say about it. Not happy about the situation. Even with the swap deal situation, because there's a couple of teams that I could see working on swap deals. Maybe that's better, though, because I could see them getting stuck with some baggage that they don't need. Because a lot of the names that have been thrown out there in the swap deal situation have been less than I've been less than enthusiastic about. So let me know your thoughts going forward. And then, so we got that out of the way. Now we'll move on to the topic of Paulo Dybala. Daniel Longo is saying that Juventus's idea is to extend Dybala's contract for at least another 3 seasons, with a substantial increase in salary from 7.3 million to 10 million euros. Paulo would like 12 million. The distance, though, is not so worrying, but it will be discussed later on. So, am I wrong? Was 10 million not like the offer that was on the table from Juventus for Paulo for the longest time, and that he was, disagreeing with? I think maybe the offer is 10 million, but then maybe now they're adding those, different bonuses and benefits that could bump it up for him going forward. Regardless, like I said, I don't want to take too much time on this situation. Hopefully, what it seems like from what we're hearing, the contract seems like it will get extended. Paulo is wanting to work with. Paulo is wanting to stay with the club. So I'm happy. Dybala is one of my more favorite players for the club, especially when he's playing at his peak. There are moments in 2019, 2020 that I absolutely love the kid and what he can do on the field. So I would like to see him stay with the club going forward, especially giving talks about this next guy's situation. So let's go ahead and get into him. We got a Gazzetta dello Sport, and they're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. They're saying that Juventus are working within their mind that the idea of Ronaldo staying, because as for now, they have not received any signs of him leaving the club. That's a weird pause, sorry. Gabriel Jesus is the first choice option should Ronaldo leave. Juventus want to take him on loan with an option to buy. Should PSG come forward to Ronaldo, then Juventus could go for Icardi. I'll be honest, right now, the names that really come out, I don't know. I mean, I know Gabriel Jesus could be a great player for Juventus. He doesn't thoroughly excite me. I would take him. Let me know your thoughts on him. It doesn't, neither Icardi or Jesus really get me excited personally. But of course, you have to get a striker to replace him. Should he leave? Let me know your thoughts on what your options or who you think would be the best replacement. Of course, you hear rumors of like a young strikers what they're going for. I don't know Icardi would fit that anymore. Jesus still maybe falls. He's like right. Was he like right 24, 25-ish? Is 24? Maybe I'm wrong. It might be even 23. Anyway, he's still on the younger side in his 20s. So yeah, he would definitely fall under that category. So I'm guessing that's who they're hinting at. Of course, I would love to have Moise Kean back. To me, it's a Juventus product. I would love to have him back, and I know, I don't love the situation with him going to PSG, and I understand Juventus needed money at the time. It's unfortunate the way that deal worked out. Of course, right now, if you're seeing with the Italian national team, maybe there's some mental issues there, immaturity, whatever you have, that maybe shows that maybe he's not ready to lead a top tier team right now. But anyway, and then also La Stampa is saying that for now, no offer for Ronaldo has arrived, not from PSG nor from Manchester United. Again, I talked to this, till I'm blue in the face, basically. Of course, my preference would be working out a trade for, Paul Pogba from Manchester United. That's probably not going to happen. That's, almost, I don't know. I guess if Mamblano is going to say 99.98%, it's about 0.002% that could ever happen for that trade to happen with Manchester United, if I were to say it. Anyway, so that's what it looks like going forward. The situation with Ronaldo right now, it appears more and more likely that he may stay for one more year with Juventus. What are your thoughts on this? I'll say this, me personally, I'm always happy to have Ronaldo. Regardless of what you think that I think of Ronaldo, I do actually think that he is the greatest player in the world and to ever play the sport. Problem is, I don't think Juventus has really set up their system to really work around him. But the problem is Juventus has they have their system that they prefer to go with. It's not all about, we don't usually have just a superstar that you really need to build around. And it's a lot to expect that. The way I look at it, a lot of times, if I see a superstar player, and when I think, again, I brought this up, to me, I think of like when you think the GOAT or whatever you want to call it, I think of Michael Jordan and, NBA. And I just think about like him, no matter who you threw out there with him, you're going to get his best performance. And you know what? He could take over and win games on his own without a lot of help. So that's what that's the way I think of it. Let me know your thoughts on it. I just think that right now I expect more out of Ronaldo. And unfortunately, I don't feel like Juventus is going to be successful underneath him, even if he comes back for another year. But who knows? Maybe Allegri and him can work out some amicable deal where they can, hopefully Allegri can use his mind to figure out a way to be successful while retaining Ronaldo at least for another year. We'll see. This could change all in a week. You know how Mercado goes. Then, going back to a name that I brought up a few moments ago, Fabrizio Romano was reporting about Paul Pogba, saying that Juventus are interested because they love Pogba, and Pogba loves Juventus. The interest is always there, but you need money to sign Pogba, not interest. A lot of people are talking about 40 to 50 million euros in Italy and Spain because Pogba is out of contract in 1 year. However, it is not like this. Manchester United is not selling the player for 40 million euros and would prefer to keep him and take the risk of losing him next year. Well, I'm adding that last part on, but yeah, they're okay with taking the risk of going on and losing him on a free next year. I don't know if for some reason Manchester United, I guess if they're weighing the benefits of his performance for the next season is more important than the money because they got money. Manchester United has that Premier League money and they got Manchester United money. So I don't think they're too worried when it comes to the euros, to shillings, whatever, the pounds or whatever it is in there. They're doing okay. So this is where I was going to go with my theory that I was talking about earlier. I'm probably spewing nonsense, but this is what I like to do on this channel. Not nonsense, but I like to give my ideas. Maybe they're conspiracy theories, who knows? That kind of theory is maybe what is the reason that Juventus is going after one midfielder this year? The way I look at it is potentially maybe there's been there's always, no matter what people say, there's no official contacts, but there's always contacts going on between agents for players. A player can say they never had contact with Juventus or whatever, but their agent talked to him or whatever. It doesn't matter. You don't have to report that. There could be, what I'm wondering is if there's like a deal going on behind the scenes behind Juventus and Paul Pogba maybe saying, hey, we leave on a free next year, then you can come to Juventus. We'll pay you, you can come back to your home, basically. But there's also, to me, I feel like if he runs out the next season, I feel like he's ready to leave Manchester United. I don't think he super happy there. I think he'll do his one more year, and I think he'd want to leave. But the only thing I wonder is if there's two teams that it's my hated rival, basically. I don't know why I'm going to start a rivalry with PSG for the rest of my life now. Basically, it's between Juventus and PSG. And I just worry about that PSG money that they could come in. And he's French. You come home to your home country. So that's the only thing I'd worry about. But that's kind of my theory, is maybe the reason they're leaving that midfield spot open, and not investing in a player for multiple years is because they think that they can get Paul Pogba going into next year. Don't shoot me if I'm wrong next year. But that's just where I sit. Let me know your thoughts. I'm hoping that conspiracy theory comes true. Probably won't, but but a man can dream, right? All right. And then kind of going and we're talking about things that are just canceling out everything we say from day to day. We got the other midfielders selection options. Guess what? We don't need more midfielders, or we're not taking another midfielder. Now we're going to go to yesterday we were talking about Roma and their situation, trying to get Demiral. And now Gazzetta dello Sport is saying that Roma did not make a move for Demiral. The only teams moving for him are Premier League teams. Juventus told Demiral's managers once again that they want 40 to 45 million euros. So that's where we are. As it sits, it appears, Roma may not be the option for Demiral. They did not make a move. That doesn't mean they won't make a move, but they haven't made a move so far. Right now, it appears the Premier League, back to what we've been saying for a while. It appears Premier. Okay, there we go. It appears that the Premier League will be the main option going forward for Demiral, and to get that money, especially with Juventus demanding 40 to 45 million euros to sell him rather than, if they were to keep him. So that's what it looks like going forward. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on all these topics. I know you will. And then Gazzetta dello Sport, we're talking Locatelli a little bit. We have a quick update about him, saying that tomorrow Cherubini will meet with Sassuolo and Rimini to try and find an agreement for Locatelli. So not a lot there, not a lot for me to break down. But basically, tomorrow is the meeting. Cherubini will be there. He will meet with Sassuolo, and we will find out what will happen there. So we'll have that update in tomorrow's video, I'm sure. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully it goes well. It seems to me, like I said, for people that are worried, I'm not as worried, especially if that's the only midfielder we're going after. I feel confident that Juventus is going to, get the deal done for Locatelli. And then Gazzetta dello Sport also has an update about the Untouchables when it comes to Juventus. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. I think this may have been in the preview section of the video. Anyway, they're saying that Bentancur and Rabiot are the only untouchable midfielders for Allegri. He does not see Artur doing well in his Juventus. while McKennie will be evaluated during preseason. I don't know. I imagine telling myself a year ago that when Allegri were to come back, that the untouchable players in his system were Bentancur and Rabiot. Like, I'd be more likely to believe it with Bentancur because he had a pretty good 2019-2020 season. I don't know if I would have ever believed it with Rabiot. But, as it sits right now, Rabiot had a poor performance. If you watch that, I guess we can go and talk about that for a little bit too. The France-Switzerland match yesterday, and how that was one of the most exciting, fun matches I've ever watched. You see Switzerland take the lead, that 1-0 lead, and then all of a sudden at halftime, right after half, France to go on that 3-0. I guess you want to say a 3-0 run. I'm mixing my sports terms with basketball, football, and stuff like that, and European football. Anyway, to go score 3 goals consecutively, and then for Switzerland to come back and score 2 more, go to penalties, and then see Mbappe choke it all away at the end. It was just fantastic. It was an enjoyable match. Always good when the French lose. But, it was just an exciting match. But the one thing I can take away from it is Rabiot looked pretty poor. He was getting eaten up by the by the Swiss, by the Swiss during that match. Wasn't super impressed with him, but again, I've seen him do good things with the club for Juventus, so I'm not going to hold that too strongly against him, though it was pretty apparent that he's not a top midfielder. The Bentancur situation we'll monitor, we'll see how it goes. I'm not super high on Bentancur, but if Allegri sees something in him, maybe he can bring back some of the stuff that we saw from years, over a year ago prior. And then also when it comes to the McKennie situation, I'm an American. I love Weston McKennie. I see what he shows. Saw what he did in the CONCACAF. Always mess that up. Playing with them, it was fantastic. It was exciting to watch that. I hope to see Weston McKennie stay around. And then we've got some update news about the backup situation. Romeo Agresti is talking about Sandro, saying that the starter on the left is Sandro. Juventus never thought of selling him. They never received an offer. He has a very long contract and earns 7 million euros a season. So that's interesting. I'm not super high on Sandro, but he did have moments where he proved that he was a pretty solid player compared to some of the other options we may have. Again, I go back to Porto, was not impressed with that match. But otherwise, we'll see what he does. And then Romeo Agresti is also saying that Juventus are increasingly convinced to retain Luca Pellegrini and the role of deputy to Alessandro. The last word will be for Allegri. So that's a positive. I used to be high on Pellegrini, cooled down a little bit on him last year. Not super impressed with his performance, but as a backup and as something, like if Juventus thinks they can get something out of it, more than happy to have an Italian player come and back up that role. So we'll see what it is going forward. Then one of the last situations we'll talk about is the backup goalkeeper situation. La Stampa is reporting that Salvatore Sirigu could be Szczesny's backup. The goalkeeper is planning to terminate his contract with Torino and will be free to choose a team of his choice. Me personally, this is actually probably my preferred way to go when it comes to our backup goalkeeper situation. He's a proven commodity. He's solid. Maybe not the best goalkeeper. He's no Buffon. He's no Donnarumma or anything like that. But he's a solid backup keeper that, he plays for the Italian national team. I liked what he's done. Of course, I think every goalkeeper, though, looked like a superstar against Juventus, especially last year. So, I want to give him too much credit for that. But I like what I saw from Sirigu. I would take him. If you look at his stats, at least his breakdown of the player, he's valued just about 2.5 million euros, especially if he's terminating his contract. You don't really have to worry about that. You can just pay him what you need to pay him a low fee, or pay him a low salary, and you're good to go. He's 34 years old, but I've been on the not crucified. I've gone after Zeko and players like that being they're too old, whatever. The problem is when it comes to Sirigu, he's 34 years old, but as we've seen, yes, Buffon's he's a different world than anybody else playing. He's 40 something years old, but playing goalkeeper is a bit different than playing as a striker, as a midfielder, something where you're running consistently up and down. I would take him. That's the guy I would go with. What are your thoughts on the goalkeeper situation? Do you have somebody you like better? Are you really that invested in a certain goalkeeper that you really want as a backup goalkeeper? If it's me, I would take Sirigu. So let me know your thoughts below. Then we have one final piece of news that don't really have a lot to say on it, but we'll just get it out of the way. Antonio Barilla is saying that Pjanic has never been an objective for Juventus. That's it. That's the statement. That's the whole thing. Good to hear. Like I said, I'm not high on Pjanic. I don't think we need to return to Pjanic to Juventus. Like I said, maybe in a backup role, but honestly, if you're not going after that many players, if that's the guy you bring back, I'm not convinced by it. As it sounds, we're talking about the midfielder situation. We're talking about midfielders. It looks like the only one they're bringing in is Locatelli. So then that would mark out Pjanic even being a target. So I guess we can move on from that. I'm sure I say that, and then we'll hear news about Pjanic tomorrow or something like that. But that's just it. That's all I really have, to really say on that situation. I know there's some of you that really would like to bring him back, even as a backup role. Good for you. All right. But that's all the news I have for you today. Check in with us tomorrow to get the latest roundup covering all things Juventus. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps our channel grow. I'm excited to see the growth we have. I love talking with you. I love chatting with you. I want to hear your opinions. I want the world to be able to hear your opinions too. Like I said, one of the big things that I'm really passionate about investing in is the future of this channel and what we can bring. Right now, I'm bringing you these news videos. I love them. They're great. They're fun, but it's just me talking to a camera. I can't wait to talk to you, hear your story, talk to you in person, and just find out why you like to be a Juventus fan. My big passion about this channel is to turn this thing into basically a, like I said, the word I used for it was just like a global Juventus, local fan club. If that makes sense. It's really, yes, everybody's a part of the fan club, but you know what I mean? You have your local fan clubs where people get together, they watch games, they talk games, they do all that. But this is what I love about this, is it can be a community thing where we're all getting together, we're all talking, we're all, getting to know each other. People that I've already met, talking in the comment section, on Twitter or whatever it is, that I never would have met you if it weren't for this. And I appreciate it. I love this. It's what I'm passionate about. I love mixing cultures and stuff, and how all that can bring in just from Juventus football. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts if you're interested in that too. Let me know down below. And then also, I always get sidetracked before this part. Make sure you hit that bell notification so that way you get notified as soon as the video drops. You get the news as soon as it's hot and fresh. And then, like I said, it gets musty quick. It gets, it'll turn over before you know it, especially once July 1st hits. So make sure you stay up to date as quickly as possible. Follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram, and follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri, and Forza Azzurri.